afternoon, everybody. I'm Susan Swecker, Chairman of the Democratic Party of Virginia, and appreciate you being here. I'm here with Governor Northam, Senator Hoshney, and Supervisor Holland. We have reached a pivotal point here in Virginia, and in which way our Commonwealth is going to be headed. And Terry McAuliffe said it better than anybody else today. What we saw last night at the Trump rally here in Virginia for Glenn Youngkin, when attendees pledged their allegiance to a flag that was present on January 6th at that deadly insurrection at our U.S. Capitol, was the darkest, most disgraceful point in this campaign. Glenn Youngkin and his allies have made it clear that they're all in to help Donald Trump destroy our democracy. The stakes of this election could not be higher, ladies and gentlemen. And to talk more in detail about that, I will now turn it over to Governor Northam. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us today. We are here today to talk about last night's truly disturbing political rally for Glenn Youngkin, his running mates, and his far-right campaign. At that rally for Glenn and his ticket, attendees pledged their allegiance to a flag that was present in D.C. on January the 6th, when supporters of Donald Trump led a deadly insurrection and attempted coup at our U.S. Capitol. Let's all remind ourselves of exactly what happened that day. A mob of domestic terrorists, egged on by conspiracy theories and lies from a president who would not accept losing, tried to violently overturn a legal and fair election. The end result was that multiple Americans and members of law enforcement, Virginians, died and many more were injured. Glenn Youngkin's supporters at last night's rally called the January 6th insurrection peaceful. Let's take a look at that.
The Capitol Police.
Yeah, Chief, let me break away from you a second because things are happening very quickly.
They no longer have been able to keep him back.
Those were scenes I don't believe any of us ever expected to see in our lifetime. It was horrifying to watch American democracy under attack. It continues to be horrifying every time we see those scenes. I was holding a press conference, if you all remember, to keep Virginians informed about the COVID crisis, and my phone started buzzing in my pocket. The Speaker of the House and multiple U.S. senators called me to ask for help, and at my direction, the Virginia state troopers were amongst the first to enter our capital. If it was so peaceful, why did we need 200 state troopers and the National Guard to restore order and protect lives? I, like many Americans, wanted to believe that that day marked the end of the lies and the attempts to overturn our democracy. Instead, we increasingly see that January the 6th was not the end, but the beginning. We have now spent 10 months watching one party repeat the lies of a losing candidate, and in the process take steps that seriously threaten our democracy. As a Virginian, as a veteran, and as an American, I am truly stunned to see Glenn Youngkin and the Republican statewide ticket embrace these dangerous falsehoods. Last night's rally featured the same old lies about the 2020 election and that truly offensive celebration of an attempted coup. And Glenn, you thanked the organizers for hosting that rally. Glenn has said that election integrity is the most important issue in his campaign. He has refused to say if he would have certified the 2020 election results. And he has even called for an audit of Virginia's voting machines beyond the standard reviews that we already do, thanks to a law signed by then Governor Terry McCullough. All of these actions are meant to create doubt in our elections. They are meant to continue Donald Trump's attempts to undermine American democracy. You know, words have consequences. Inflammatory rhetoric is dangerous. This, Mr. Youngkin, is not a game. When political candidates purposely reject facts and the truth and fan the flames of conspiracy, all in pursuit of power, they are taking very, very dangerous steps. If you want to lead this state, Mr. Youngkin, you need to make a choice. You can be part of our democratic institutions, or you can use falsehoods to try to destroy them. But you can't do both. You can love America, or you can be proud of and condone what happened on January the 6th. But you can't do both. His party, your party, Mr. Youngkin, says that this was a peaceful protest. Would you, Mr. Youngkin, have sent the Virginia State Police and the National Guard on January the 6th, as I did, to defend our democracy? Glenn Youngkin, you have made it very clear to Virginians which one you're choosing, and that is very dangerous for our Commonwealth. I'd now like to introduce the senator from the 10th Senate District, Senator Ghazala Hashmi. Ghazala, welcome.
Thanks,
Thank you, Governor Northam. Glenn Youngkin's embrace of right-wing ideologues and the insurrectionists who sought to dismantle our democracy with weapons in their hands, this fulsome embrace is not only deeply disturbing, but absolutely unacceptable for anyone who is seeking the highest office in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Last night, we had a grim picture of the kinds of people whose dystopian vision of America Glenn Youngkin agrees with. Last night's rally repeated all of the lies, the baseless conspiracies, the hateful rhetoric that has traumatized this country under Donald Trump and Steve Bannon. I think that we were all especially deeply offended at the disrespectful manipulation of our nation's flag. Make no mistake, the organizers and the attendees of last night's rally pledged allegiance not to our country, but to an insurrection that sought to overturn a democratic election and to violently overthrow our constitutional system of government. So long as Glenn Youngkin refuses to denounce the violence of the January 6th insurrectionists, and as long as he refuses to acknowledge the very act of sedition itself, he's not fit to govern this Commonwealth. And so long as Glenn Youngkin refuses to condemn the desecration of our nation's capital and the violence and the injuries that were inflicted on our law enforcement officers that day, he is not fit to govern this Commonwealth. And until Glenn Youngkin disavows the support he receives from demagogues, white supremacists, and a man like Donald Trump, a man who sought to undermine the very structures of our democracy, he is not fit to govern this Commonwealth. Last November, Virginians made it very clear that we reject the bigotry, the ineptitude, the deliberate acts of subversion that characterized the 4 years of Donald Trump. And if Glenn Youngkin is serious in his intention to lead this great Commonwealth, then we are well past that time that he joins all Virginians in rejecting the politics of insurrection and division. I call upon Mr. Youngkin to denounce last night's rally and the messages that it put forth. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce Chesterfield County Supervisor Jim Holland.
Thank you, Senator. I'm James M. Jim Holland, Chair of the Chesterfield County Board of Supervisors. My friends, last night was one of the darkest days we have seen yet from Glenn Youngkin's campaign. You just saw the video. Check it out for yourself. Donald Trump, Glenn Youngkin's top endorser and surrogate, hosted a rally in support of Glenn's campaign. We knew they would eventually hide out. And at that rally, attendees pledged their allegiance to a flag that was presented at the deadly insurrection of the U.S. Capitol on January the 6th of this year. As a U.S. Army veteran who volunteered to serve in Vietnam and a United States paratrooper with the 18th Airborne Corps of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, I am personally insulted. You cannot trust people who lie. We know that. And they're not fit to lead because they're not truthful. And what has really enraged me is that Glenn Youngkin has the unmitigated gall and the ability to say that he would also support Trump if he ran for a second time. Now that should be a disqualifying fact today and forever. It is disgusting. It is disqualifying. And it is completely unbecoming of someone who seeks to be governor of this great Commonwealth. So today, I call on you, Glenn Youngkin, to immediately disavow these actions and disavow your allegiance to Donald Trump. Anything less is unacceptable. Come out, say so.